Okay, so the new plan for the DC comic book universe in theaters, or the cinematic universe, has been announced. James Gunn put out a video. There's a lot of interviews out there that are dropping. I want to go over some of them. I'll start off the video with positive stuff. I think a lot of the stuff that was announced is pretty good. I like that they are still going to do the Batman Part 2. I did like that first movie. I like the idea of All-Star Superman, which is what it looks like they're going to do. They announced Superman Legacy, which is basically going to be based on, I think, All-Star Superman. That's what it looks like to me. That and some kind of modification to make it a little bit more Superman 52. I think that's what they're going to do with it. And by that, I mean new Superman 52, or the new 52 Superman. I don't like new 52 Superman, but I do love All-Star Superman. I wish they would have kept Henry Cavill, and we're going to get to that. There's some stuff in there that they're saying. They're trying to cover up the fact that he got fired and messed around with. I want to go over that too. But first off, it would be nice if we could just get some regular Superman movies. I guess it really depends on who they cast. Should have been Henry Cavill. I'm not arguing with anybody that says that in the comments. It is what it is. This, though, I like a lot. A new Batman movie, The Brave and the Bold, focus on Bruce and Damian Wayne in the works. I like Damian Wayne a lot. I think he's a great Robin. This was a great run that they're focusing on for this, too, by the way, which is the Grant Morrison Batman and Robin run. Really just awesome stuff there. One of the better Batman runs that I've read in a long, long time. It would also be the first time we get a Robin that doesn't have nipples on his suit. So if this can be done and done well, I think you could have a good movie here. We'll see. That's where I'm going to leave that. Booster Gold could be a good vehicle for Chris Pratt. James Gunn likes him. We'll see. Creature Commandos, an Amanda Waller movie, a Swamp Thing horror movie, if done well, could be cool. Green Lantern TV series focused on Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart as a detective movie, as a police movie, like a buddy cop movie. It's kind of what it sounds like they're going to do there. That could be really good. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, based on Tom King's bullshit. That's a turd. Paradise Lost, based on Wonder Woman. It's like a Wonder Woman prequel. Not interested. Here's a full list, too. They have an Amanda Waller series coming. That's going to be an animated feature, I think. And I like his stance on animated movies or shows. Get the same character as the person doing the character in movies. So you would have the voices of those actors doing the voices in the animated movie or show. I like that as well. That should be a standard. That should be the standard. So overall, a lot of this I like. A lot of it I'm mixed on. I don't like that Ta-Nehisi Coates' Superman film is still happening. It's going to be an Elseworld movie, as is the Joker 2 and Batman 2. And then we can get in some other stuff here. So that's kind of that's really the main details of it. But then you've got stuff like this. Jason Momoa, some other people returning, which so means it's not a full reboot. And you got rid of Henry Cavill. And once again, it looks like Ezra Miller is still on board. And that's why he's trending. So we'll come back to that in a second. But this is what I'm irritated about. Superman and Lois still moving forward. And then you've got this. I love that they dug on Batgirl. Peter Safran says Batgirl was not releasable. I actually think that David Zaslav and the team made a very bold and courageous decision to cancel it before because it would have hurt DC. That's how bad that pile of shit was. Remember how they freaked out over that movie too? It's garbage movie. Trash. Just like Ezra Miller, who's coming back, by the way. Coming back. So let's go over this article. This is the big one. DC bosses didn't fire Henry Cavill. Talk about fate of Robert Pattinson, Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, filmmakers, and more in New Universe. So this is the article that I really want to talk about. A couple of things in here that are irritating. One, when they talk about Henry Cavill. They're trying to take all of this off of themselves. Just so you know, there was a verbal agreement with Henry Cavill and the studio, from what I understand, which is still a binding contract. And they decided they didn't want him when they took over, and they fired him. They absolutely did fire him. But they're trying to pass it off that they didn't fire him, which is bullshit. That's not true. You did fire him. You didn't want him. And they're trying to act like, oh, that had nothing to do with us. So here's what he had to say about Cavill. We didn't fire Henry. Henry was never cast. He was in a cameo, and that was the end of his story. A lot of people made assumptions that weren't true, said Gunn, but for me, it's about who do I want to cast as Superman and who do the filmmakers want to cast. Referring to his legacy movie, Gunn continued, for me, this story isn't Henry. I like Henry. He's a great guy, and I think he got dicked around a lot by a lot of people, including former regimes of the company, but this Superman isn't Henry for a number of reasons. So you decided to go in a different direction, and he is right on some things. Some of it isn't him. It was the former regime that screwed around with him. And it was an unfortunate thing, but don't act like this isn't all on you. You could have made it work for him. A lot of people loved him, but you want to do something different. And that's why you're firing him. And he was fired because from what I understand, and a lot of people have said, he did have a verbal agreement, which is the same as a contract. It's not like a handshake deal, verbal agreements. Those are the same as contracts. They're a little bit harder to fight for in court, but they're all the same. He had an agreement. He was back as Superman. That's why he was allowed to post what he posted on social media. So don't say that you didn't fire him, because you did fire him. You did fire him. It was you and Peter Safran that fired him. Just own up to it. And then there's this. This is the most irritating part of all of this. And that's that they're ready to have a conversation with Ezra Miller. While Gunn and Safran were very bullish about The Flash and see the movie as a turning point for the next phase of the DC, it's still to be decided whether Ezra Miller continues to put on the red speedster leotard. Peter Safran says, Ezra is completely committed to their recovery. We're fully supportive of that journey that they're on right now. When the time is right, when they feel they are ready to have that discussion, we'll all figure out what's best for the way forward. But right now, they are completely focused on their recovery. And they're praising that movie, by the way. I don't know if it is right here. Here's from IGN. James Gunn revealed that Shazam 2 leads into The Flash, which resets everything. It then goes into a mostly unrelated Blue Beetle movie, which then goes into Aquaman 2, which leads into Superman, our first big project. Now, I don't know if I have that quote pulled up, but he was praising this movie, saying that it's very, very good. He's very excited for it, all of that stuff. And it doesn't really matter to me if that movie is good or not. What I don't like is the disgusting things that Ezra Miller did with children and him beating women. Not really cool with any of that. I think it's all disgusting. And if it had been anybody else with less check boxes, they wouldn't be working at DC Films anymore, would they? But for some reason, Ezra Miller gets the passive passes and is allowed to do pretty much whatever the hell he wants. It could still keep working. I think it's bullshit. If Ezra was let go, it would make the Henry Cavill stuff a little bit more easier to swallow, because so far, nobody other than Jason Momoa is coming back. Jason Momoa apparently will still play Aquaman, and it looks like he's also going to play Lobo. So he's going to play both roles. At least that's what they're saying. Maybe that changes. I'm not sure. They say that they want to do a third Aquaman movie. It's a trilogy. So that also leaves the question of Amber Heard. Is she coming back? You've got all these other... This is what pisses people off with Henry Cavill. You're keeping Heard and Miller, but not Cavill. Cavill does nothing wrong. Like, he's a straight-up blue-collar guy. A lot of people love him, especially because he's a huge fan of stuff. And you knock him out of the way to keep a felon, criminal, and an abuser. It sends the wrong message. And dressing up a criminal felon who's done disgusting things like Miller as a hero for kids is sick. And because of that, I don't know how much I can support any of this, because it just rubs me the wrong way, and I don't think I'm the only one. So that's where we're at with the future of the DC universe. I think there's some good ideas in here. Not that one. The Brave and the Bold is a good idea. I like All-Star Superman. I don't like that Cavill's not there, though. They're keeping the Superman and Lois show for 2 more seasons, too, by the way. I like that show quite a bit. It's a good show. But, keeping Miller around is a joke. And it looks like that's going to happen. The door is open. They're openly talking about it now. A lot of people were saying that was rumor. That's not rumor. I called it. I said he will stick on. I guarantee you that you will see Ezra Miller as the Flash for years to come. And that's kind of sick and messed up. If it'd been anybody else, they would never work in Hollywood again. And you know I'm right. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about all of this. What are your thoughts? You going to watch it? Can you get past Miller? Can you not get past Miller? Can you get past Cavill? Can you not get past Cavill? What are your thoughts overall? Also, if you would, please throw a like up, share the video, make sure you're still subscribed, hit that notification bell, all of that good stuff. Check out my Rumble and Locals, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my Locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my Locals.